promised, I did say I will do a walkthrough with the SQL problems that you were supposed to solve during midterm. So the first one was to write a query that lists participants' ID, names, and all participants who have worked on project led by Lynn and not by Ken. And you should make sure that each participant ID or name should appear only once in the output. Remember, you were given 4 tables here, and all what you needed to do was to look at how the tables are relating with each other by looking at the attributes. So if you are given a problem like this one, where is your starting point? So your starting point here can just be the simple select. If you go chunk by chunk, or you will end up maybe solving the problem in the best way possible. So if we look at the first chunk here, they are saying write an SQL query that lists the participant ID and names of all participants. So if we pause there, then we know that we are being asked to get participant ID and names. And where are those coming from? From the participant table. It has the name and the ID. So we can just say select PID and name from this first table. So already you've done your first chunk of the problem. So it doesn't stop there. So the second chunk of the problem is saying these people should have worked on projects led by Lynn and not projects led by Ken. So we go back to these 4 tables again. Where are we seeing the team lead? So the team lead is under projects. So you're going to need this table for projects because it has the attribute team lead, which you have to pick Lynn or Ken from. And then the other thing you need is the projects. They are asking you the projects that they have worked for should be under these two, either this Lynn, not in Ken. So that would mean we need this table for projects. Again, if you just had 2 tables like this, and you look at them, you see the attributes between them, there's no similarity, so they cannot link. So sometimes for you to link these two, you need the third table. So again, this is where they link with PID and SID. So now that you have your 3 tables, what's the next step? So you're still doing chunk by chunk. You haven't even gotten to the condition of Lynn or Ken, but you need to link them before you get to that condition. So how do you link them? So the participant table here is linking to which one between the 2. So PID, we see PID in participation, so we can start with that link of participant dot PID equals to participation dot PID. That's one link. We need a second join. Because projects is not joined at this point, but all these tables should be joined. So project links with which one between the 2? With participation through SID. SID is here and SID is here. So we can do participation dot SID is equals to project dot SID. So that's the first part of the query. Now let's see what's going to happen here if we try to just execute this part. So currently nothing is happening because we are having an error which you are not seeing here. I can see it, but it's complaining that this PID here is ambiguous. Why is PID ambiguous? It's because it's also here and it's also here. So how do we make PID not ambiguous? Then we can be specific. Which PID do we want in the selection statement? So we remember that it's the PID from the participant table. So if we run this query again, it should give us the results. So if you look at these results again, let's just order by name. Let's see what's going to happen. So if we order them by name, you see they are repeating. There's a lot of repetition here. So we can then we can then look at this output where they are saying they should only appear one pair, not a pair of, like we are having 111 Aisha trainer appearing twice, but the condition is saying we should only have one pair of that that pair. So we use distinct. And now if we run it again, we have reduced this. There are no duplications, so that you have also met another chunk of the requirement. So we are not done now. That it gets into the interesting parts about how do we pull participants who worked on Lean's project or on projects under Lean, but then we exclude participants who worked on projects under Ken. So we can put the condition that the team lead's name should be Lean. So these participants should have worked in under Lean supervision. Okay, so this one, it should work with Lean. Yes, these are the participants. So some of you said, okay, this doesn't make sense because I can just say this and then it will exclude Ken. But some of you even went on to say, no, I can include both conditions where I say the participants are not in Ken, but are not in Lean. You run the query, it still brings the same participants. So what's happening? What's wrong? It's not picking. If we were to go to Team Lean here, let's put Team Lean as one of the selection. It's not what the question was asking, but if we were to put Team Lean and then order by name, let's order them by name. See what's gonna happen. Do you see that there's Lean? So Alex Bree has worked in both Lean projects under Lean as well as projects under Ken. But the question is saying, no, we don't want Alan Bree because they've worked in both Ken and Lean's projects. We only want participants who worked on Lean's projects but not on Ken's projects. Again, David Wang has worked in Lean and Ken projects, but the person who has worked in Lean's project but not Ken is Sophia Rem, because here Sophia has worked only in Lean and Taylor's projects but not under Ken. So the other ones, we see a pair of Lean Ken, they've worked in both under the supervision of Lean and Ken. So you can see that this query is not taking them out. It's not taking them out. I'm just gonna remove this. So it's not taking them out because we're still having them. So how do we take them out? We need to do a subquery. The reason why it's not taking them out is because it's just checking row by row, and it's not comparing multiple projects. It's just taking row by row. If it gets into the row and the supervisor is Lean, it's gonna bring the output, and it gets into the second row, it's not Ken, it won't bring the Ken thing, but it's not saying Alex Bree is appearing in two projects. So when you see questions that talk about comparisons across different projects for one participant or one attribute, it's a key that you need to do a subquery. Or questions that talk about things not being in or in that. So if you remember our relational algebra, we were using the minus to do those types of distinctions. So now we need a subquery. So in the subquery, we can add another clause where we say the participant ID should not be in any of the projects that were led by Ken. Okay, so we can select the participation ID from this time around. We don't care about the participant table. There's no information we need there. The only thing we need in the subquery is these two. We want projects and the team lead. So we just need two tables here because all we care about is the condition of Ken. So we can select the ID from project and participation, okay, where we link these two. We already have that linking somewhere here. Yeah, where the SIDs are equal, and now the condition becomes team lead is Ken. So this time around, we are hoping it will exclude these other participants and just give us participants who worked in Lean and they have not worked in Ken's projects. And yes, it did take out all those participants who worked in both projects. And now this is the true query of just the person who worked under the supervision of Lean and not of Ken. So I hope this was helpful. And if we were to look at the equivalence of the relational algebra, it would look something like this. So this is not SQL, but I'm just putting it out there to kind of like give you an idea that you remember one of the classes we used a minus. So we would project, link those three tables, pick the first one. We are picking those who worked in Lean's projects, and we do the projection because we need union compatibility of PID and name. We subtract from this. So I hope this was helpful, and thank you for watching.